Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have Game 2 of the League of Champions tournament. So pull up a chair and let's see what happens. That's right, this is Game 2 of the League of Champions tournament. I won Game 1 against Wrecking Crew on Standard with She-Hulk, and this is Standard Green Goblin Risky Business. That's normally not much of a problem for Spider-Man, who I've chosen to fight against Risky Business today, but I do have the Legions of Hydra encounter set, a modular set in the encounter deck, and so that concerns me a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Since this is a league match, I'll go ahead and give a shuffle to the encounter deck. It's already been shuffled, but I'm going to shuffle it again, and then just a little bit, and then I'll shuffle up his hero deck for Spider-Man. Okay. And I'll go ahead and draw it to 6 and do my mulligan. Okay, so these are my 6 cards that I drew. I'm going to keep Maria Hill because I like that. And I may keep Web Shooter, but I think for the other ones for now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Webbed Up, Avengers Assemble, and Backflip. I don't think I'm going to need those. I think I will actually keep Rapid Response. I could always use that. So I'll keep these 3 and then draw back up to 6. All right, well, I wanted to see Aunt May, Black Cat, and Inspired were the ones I really like to see, but that's okay. I'll deal with what I have. So the first thing I'm going to do is put Web Shooter into play with his mental resource that he has, and I'll put the 3 counters on his Web Shooter. And then I'm going to put Maria Hill into play using the power of leadership, and that lets me draw a card, and it'll be Vision. She'll come in with 2 health, and then I think I'll just go ahead and put Rapid Response into play with these 2 resources here. I'll hold on to the Web Shooter resource. Actually, I will go ahead and use 1 encounter to pay for that, and make the call to pay for the other one. So I'll keep Enhanced Spider Sense in case I want to cancel a Treachery that comes out. I'll go ahead and flip over to Spider-Man. I'm going to have Maria Hill thwart for 2 on the main scheme to go ahead and drop that down. I'm not going to attack him because if you don't know anything about Green Goblin Risky Business, if you attack Norman Osborn, you actually take counters off the Criminal Enterprise. And when there are no counters, he flips the Green Goblin, you can start doing damage to him. But when he flips, on side 1, it deals indirect damage to your hero. And I'm just not ready to do a lot of damage right now. I want to build up a little bit. So I think I'm going to call that good. And I'll ready and draw up to 5. Okay, start of the main villain phase. Put 1 threat on the main scheme. And instead of attacking, he has a forced interrupt when he's an Norman Osborn where he places 1 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. So I'll go ahead and do that. So it'll come up to 3. And then the encounter card will be all in day's work. Place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise. So now it's going to go up 2 more. So now we have 5 counters on that. And I'll have to take all those off before I can go ahead and start attacking Green Goblin and get him to flip. But now it's back to Spider-Man. Okay, and I think the first thing I'll do is put Vision into play using 1 from the Web Shooter. And so that's 1, 2 from Genius, 1 from Enhanced Spider Sense for a total of 4. He'll come in with 3 health. And when he does, I don't have an energy resource to beef up his thwart or his attack. So I'll just go ahead and just have him attack for 2, and I'll have Spider-Man attack for 2. And so that's going to be take 4 off of the Criminal Enterprise, and that's good to get me a little bit closer. Maybe next time I can start attacking if I want to. And for Maria Hill, I'll just leave her like that for now. And I think we'll just call that good. I'll ready and draw up to 5. Okay, start of the main villain phase. 1 threat on the main scheme. He's supposed to attack, so he'll instead put 1 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise like that. And then the encounter card will be Hydra Soldier. It's a guard, and so you cannot attack I can't attack Norman Osborn or anything until, I can't attack the villain until I get rid of him. He comes in with 4 hit points, and when I defeat him, I have to deal myself an encounter card. So now it's back to Spider-Man. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put Nick Fury into play using the last resource on Web Shooter for 1. Oh, I knocked the dice off, so he's back to 4. Using the Web Shooter for 1, Hawkeye, Inspired, and Mockingbird for 2, 3, 4. And when he comes in, he'll come in with 3, and I'll have him deal the 4 damage that he does to go ahead and just knock this Hydra soldier out of the game. And when they are defeated, I have to deal the engaged player an encounter card, so he'll have to deal with 2 of those this turn. That's okay. And then I think I will go ahead and have Nick Fury attack for 2 to remove the 2 tokens on Criminal Enterprise. That's going to flip this. And when State of Madness enters play, put 2 madness counters on it. If there are no madness counters here, flip Green Goblin, so it will enter play. And it's going to flip Norman Osborn. When he flips, deal 3 indirect damage to each player in hero form. So I'll just have Nick Fury take 1, and I'll have Spider-Man take the other 2, dropping him down to 8. Okay, and then I'm going to have Vision attack for 2 and Spider-Man attack for 2 to drop him from 14 down to 10. And then I'll just have Maria Hill thwart for 2 to get rid of this threat on the scheme. That'll knock her out of the game. And I'll go ahead and use Rapid Response to bring her back in, deal 1 damage to her, and put her back at 1 health. And when she comes into the game, she'll draw a card. It'll be Iron Man. Can't do anything with that right now, but that's okay. I'll just leave it. And that's probably going to be good for now. So I'll ready and draw up to 5. Okay, start the main villain phase. Put 1 threat on the main scheme. He will attack this time. Nick Fury's going to take it, and because he's attacking, and I get to draw the card now. And now on Norman Osborn, instead of attacking, he puts the counter on State of Madness, so Spider-Man doesn't get to draw his card there. But obviously, Green Goblin is attacking, so I do get to draw the card. So it's for 3, 4 damage, place 1 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. If you can't, remove 1 madness counter from State of Madness. Okay, I'll do that. So it's going to be 4 damage, and Nick Fury will come out of the game. And then I have to deal with 2 encounter cards. One of them is Legions of Hydra. When revealed, if Madam Hydra is not in play, so I got to search the deck, put her into play engaged with me, and then place 2 additional threat here for each Hydra enemy in play, which will be 5 threat that I'll have to put on the scheme. So let me go and see if I can find her. Okay, there's Madam Hydra. All right, so I've shuffled the deck, and then I have to put a total of 5 threat on this side scheme, and I want to get rid of that if I can, because that's going to give me an extra encounter card each time. She comes into play with 6, and it's been a while since I've played against Legions of Hydra, so she can't take damage while Legion of Hydra side schemes in play, and after Madam Hydra schemes or attacks, place 2 threat on the Legion of Hydra side scheme. Okay, and then the other encounter card is going to be Oscorp Manufacturing. When revealed, place an additional 1 threat here, so it's going to have 3 threat on that. All right, I'll put that one over here. So 2 side schemes come into play, and but we're back to Spider-Man. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is I'll use Avengers Assemble, the lightning resource, energy resource, to give Vision +2 thwart. So I'll have him thwart for 3, 4, and then Maria Hill for 2 for 5. To go ahead and take this side scheme out of the game. And that's going to knock both of them out of the game. And then I'm going to put Spider Tracer into play on Madam Hydra using Backflip to do that. And then I'll go ahead and Swinging Web kick her for 2, 3. And so that's going to deal 8 damage to her. It's going to knock her out of the game. And then whenever attachment is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. So we'll remove the 3 threat from here. And that's not really what I wanted to do. I could have used the swinging web kick and Spider-Man to flip him, but this early in the game, probably the best thing to do is just go ahead and clear the board. So that's what I'm going to do. Have Spider-Man attack for 2 on Green Goblin and drop him down to 8. And then I'll have him go ahead and flip to Peter Parker and ready and draw up to 6. Okay, so start of the main villain phase. 1 threat on the main scheme up here. And then he's supposed to scheme, but when Green Goblin schemes instead, he will remove a madness counter from State of Madness. So that's going to flip back to Criminal Enterprise. And then when Criminal Enterprise comes into play, it comes in with 2 counters, as we know from before. This will flip him back to Norman Osborn. Okay, so he schemed and flipped and everything. The encounter card will be Hired Gun. When revealed, choose to either give the villain 1 face-down boost card or place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise. I'll just give him a boost card. So he'll come in with 3. And we are back to Peter Parker. Okay, and on Spider-Man's turn, I think the first thing I'll do is put in Spider Tracer on this Hired Gun. And I'll do it with Honorary Avenger. I'll go ahead and put the Triskelion into play with Webbed Up. And, or actually, I'll put it into play with Peter Parker's Mental Resource. And then I'll go ahead and flip to Spider-Man and attack this Hired Gun for 2 to drop him down to 1. And then I'll ready Spider-Man and draw up to 5. Okay, so start of the main villain phase, 1 threat on the main scheme. We got 3 there now. He's supposed to attack, but again, he puts an infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise, so he won't. The Hired Gun will attack, so I'll just have Spider-Man take it for bringing him down from 8 to 6. And then the encounter card is another Hydra Soldier, another guard we have coming out. So it's going to be 4 on him, and we have to defeat him before we can go after Norman Osborn. So we are back to Spider-Man. And the first thing we're going to do is put Black Cat into play using Strength. And then she'll come in with 2. And I'm going to have her attack for 1 to knock off this Hired Gun. And when that happens, I can remove 3 threat from a scheme. So I will remove the 3 threat from the main scheme over here. And then I'm going to have Spider-Man attack for 2 with onto this Hydra Soldier here. And I'll just go ahead and put Rapid Response in with Swinging Web Kick and Webbed Up, because it may be a little while before I can get those counters off, because I have to take care of this Hydra Soldier first. So we'll call that good already, and then draw up to 5. Okay, so start of the main villain phase. We put 1 threat on the main scheme. And by the way, I moved Black Cat. I had dropped her down to 1, but when she attacks, she doesn't take any consequential damage, so I got her fixed back. She's at 2. So that's at 1. He's supposed to attack, but he can't. And instead, he puts 1 threat on the Criminal Enterprise. The Hydra Soldier will attack. I'll just have him drop Spider-Man down to 4. And then the encounter card will be Payoff. So it comes in with 2 threat, and I'll have to draw an extra encounter card if I don't do anything about it. And so that'll come into play, and we'll go to Spider-Man. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in Iron Man using Make the Call. Okay, so he'll come in, and I can use Power of Leadership for 2 resources. That's been confirmed. So 2, 3, 4. And so he'll come into play with 3 hit points. And I'm going to have him thwart for 2 to get rid of this side scheme over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and have Spider-Man attack for 2 to get rid of this Hydra Soldier. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to deal myself an encounter card. That's okay. And then I'll just have Black Cat attack for 1 to get rid of a counter off of Criminal Enterprise. And then I'll ready. and draw back up to 5. Start of the main villain phase. We got 1 threat on the main scheme. He's supposed to attack, but he'll put a counter here. And then I have to deal with 2 encounter cards this time again because that Hydra soldier, one of them is payoff. Another one of those comes out. So that's 2 threat on the, it'll come in with 2 threat and has a hazard icon, but I won't deal that encounter card till the next time. And then the other one is Private Security Specialist. He's a guard, and he'll come in with 4 hit points. All right, I really need to get Falcon into play so I can try to get some threat removed off the main scheme and here. And really the only way I see to do this, I don't want to get rid of Aunt May. I really want her, so I'm going to go ahead and use Strength in Numbers and exhaust Black Cat and Iron Man to draw 2 cards, a Swinging Web Kick and another Strength in Numbers. Okay, and then I'm going to put Iron Man into play with these 4 resources here. I mean, I put Falcon into play with that. And when he comes into play, he will look at the top 3 cards, and for every treachery looked at, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So there's 1 treachery, 2. Okay, so 2 treachery. So I'm going to remove 2 threat from this scheme over here. And Mad Genius will be the boost, but Gang Up will be the encounter card, which would just put an infamy counter there, because I think I'm going to be able to get rid of this Private Security Guard. And then, so that's what that's going to be like. Okay, so Falcon will come into play with 3 hit points. I'll have him attack for 2, and Spider-Man attack for 2 to get rid of this Private Security Guard. And that's going to do it. So I'll ready and draw back up to 5, which I don't have enough for that. I was going to run my deck out. So I'm going to have to deal myself an encounter card and deal with 2 again. And then I'll shuffle and draw back up to 5. All right, so I've reshuffled and drawn back up to 5. 1 threat on the main scheme brings it up to 3. He's supposed to attack, but instead 1 counter here. And then I have to deal with 2 encounter cards again. One of them is Mad Genius. Well, we know what they are actually. When revealed as Norman Osborn, discard the top card of your deck for each infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. Okay, so that's going to be 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other one is going to be a Gang Up. The villain in each mini engage with you attacks, so he'll just have to put another infamy counter. We got 6 on there now that I have to get rid of, but it is back to Spider-Man. All right, so Spider-Man does have enough, looks like, to be able to go ahead and get rid of these criminal enterprises. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the push to flip him over. And so Falcon will attack for 2. Iron Man will attack for 2. And Spider-Man will attack for 2. That's 6. That's going to remove all the counters off of Criminal Enterprise. It's going to flip to State of Madness. Put 2 tokens on there, and then he'll flip to Green Goblin, deal 3 indirect damage to each player in hero form. And so I'm going to deal 1 here to Falcon. And when Falcon leaves play, I'll discard Rapid Response, put him back into play. He'll enter play, take 1 damage. He'll be at 2, but when he enters play, get a look at the top 3 cards in the encounter deck for each treachery card, you know, and remove a threat from a scheme for each treachery card. So we got a minion, we got a treachery, advance, and we have another treachery. So we have 2 treacheries. I'll remove 2 threat, and we do have an advance. And so that's going to come out as the encounter card actually this time. So that's unfortunate, but maybe it won't advance the scheme. So that was 1 indirect damage to Falcon. I'm going to have Iron Man take 1. That'll hit him. And then I'll have Black Cat take 1 to drop her down to 1. Okay, and then I'm going to do finally a Swinging Web Kick on Green Goblin with Enhanced Spider Sense, Squirrel Girl, and Inspired. It's going to do 8 damage to him, and that's going to actually drop him down to 0 because he had 8 remaining. That's going to move him to a side 2, and when that happens, the Green Goblin side 2, we deal 4 indirect damage to each player. So I'm going to have Falcon take 2 of that, and then I'll have Spider-Man take 2 of that, dropping him from 4 to 2. And he comes back into play with 18 hit points. All right, so I'll put him back up to 18. And then I'll just have Black Cat go ahead and attack for 1 to drop him down to 17. And then I'm going to flip to Peter Parker, use his mental resource to put Aunt May into the game, have her heal him back up to 6. And then I'll ready and draw to 6. Okay, start of the main villain phase. 1 threat on the main scheme. We're still on the side 1 here, so it goes up to 2. And he's in hero form. I mean, he's in alter ego form, so that means he should scheme, and which means he removes a madness counter. And then the encounter card, we know what it is. It's actually going to be Hired Gun. We don't know what it is. Choose to either give the villain 1 face down boost card or place 2 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. Well, I can't put 2 infamy counter because it's not on Criminal Enterprise, so I'll give him another boost card. And he'll come in with 3. Now, he's not a guard, so I don't have to worry about him as far as... I don't have to take him out before I go after Green Goblin. So, we are back to Spider-Man. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is have Aunt May heal Spider-Man back up to 10 so he can be at full health. And then I'm going to put Mockingbird into play using the mental resource here for 1, make the call for 2, and strengthen numbers for 3. And when he comes in, she'll stun Green Goblin. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip to Spider-Man. Oh, by the way, Mockingbird comes in with 3 hit points. I'll flip to Spider-Man, and I'm going to swinging web kick for 3, using strength and strengthen numbers to pay for that. So that's going to be 8 damage. That's going to drop him from 17 down to 9. And then I'll have Spider-Man attack for 2 and Black Cat for another one for 3. So that's going to drop him from 9 to 6. And I think I'll just go ahead and have Mockingbird thwart for 1 just to be safe on the main scheme over here, because I think the advance is actually going to... Well, actually the advance is going to be the encounter card because he's stunned. So that State of Madness is going to come off, but that's okay. So we will ready and draw up to 5. Okay, before I go to the main scheme, I just moved Aunt May out of the way so I can have my allies over here and don't get too confused. But at the start of the main villain phase, put 1 threat here. He's supposed to attack, but he's stunned, so he won't. And then, but this Hired Gun will attack, and I'll just have Spider-Man take that, dropping him down to 8. And then the encounter card we know... Oh, I thought it was advanced, but it is caught off guard. Okay, so I may have put those back on wrong, but that's okay. So discard and upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, I'll discard the Triskelion. And by the way, I know what happened with the advance. Just the advance is right here as a boost, because when the Hired Gun came out, I had to choose to put a boost on here. So that's why advance didn't come out. But caught off guard was the encounter card. I discarded the Triskelion because it's a support, and that's fine. So he is still in Green Goblin. And so I think I'm going to be able to win right now because I'll go with Spider-Man. I'm going to put Vision into play using these 4 resources that I have. And he'll come in with 3 health. And then, so I have 3 allies. It didn't exceed my limit, so we're good here. So Vision is going to attack for 2. Mockingbird for 1, which is 3. Black Cat for 4. And then Spider-Man for 5, 6. And that is enough to drop him down to 0. And that is the game. Well, That was much more difficult than it should have been for standard Green Goblin Risky Business, in my opinion. I've beaten Expert Spider-Man with ease before on Risky Business, but I didn't have Legions of Hydra in the encounter deck, and I think that's what really hurt me. I mean, that side scheme came out, Madam Hydra came out, I had a couple of Hydra mercenaries, or Hydra guards or whatever I had to deal with. They had the guard ability. That private security specialist came in, he had guard. And I had to deal with some threat. So it took me a little bit longer than I needed to, and he actually got down to 2 health at one point. But he survived and he wins, and so Spider-Man wins game 2 against Green Goblin Risky Business. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, please consider to like and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell because I do have more Marvel Champion videos coming out. I'm not sure when because I'll be going out of town next week, but I'm going to try to get some up next week. If not, more will be coming in the week after that. And until those videos come out, I'll save you a seat at the table.